Hey, what's going on? It's Raymond J. Negron with Beyond Failure to Reach Success. And I just read an amazing book. I believe the name of the guy is Michael Herschel. I'm not sure. But the name of the book is called The Marshmallow Test. And oh my God, what an amazing book. I mean, this book is excellent. And the thing that it was showing was called the Marshmallow Test. I guess it was a science-based test that they did at some laboratory or some school where they had these kids come in and they actually gave these kids marshmallows. They put like one kid in the room, and the lab proctor would say, "Hey, listen, I'll be back in 20 minutes. And if you don't eat this marshmallow in 20 minutes, I'll give you two." And all of a sudden, the lab proctor would walk out, leave. The kid would be there with the marshmallow, like staring at the marshmallow and saying, "Oh my God, do I eat it? Do I not eat it?" And then all of a sudden, he'd eat it, right? And then the lab proctor would come back. He's probably behind a double way window or whatever, and he'd walk back and he'd say, "Oh, you ate the marshmallow? Okay, great, and whatever, off with you." And then bring in another kid, and this kid, same thing. He was told, "You know what? Listen, I'll be back in 20 minutes." The lab proctor would say, and he'd say, "You know what? But in 20 minutes, if I come back and you don't eat that marshmallow, I'll give you two marshmallows. How does that sound?" And the kid would be like, "Oh, that's great. Excellent." Maybe he wouldn't say anything, who knows. But then the lab proctor would leave, and the kid would be there, and he'd be like, "Oh, whatever." Maybe he's hanging out, texting. I have no idea. Probably not. But then he's hanging out, and the guy comes back and says, "Oh, great. Here's your other marshmallow." And he would put it off to the future. And the thing is, what is amazing about that is that the study that of the marshmallow test in the future is what they did is years later, like 10 years later, I think these kids were like 8. And when they were like 18, they would check their SAT scores. And the kid who was into the instant gratification scored significantly lower than the kid who, would wait, was patient, right? Could control his willpower, right? Can control his thoughts, could control his behaviors, could control his emotions. And instead of reacting, he would just act. He'd say, "You know what?" He'd visualize, "Oh, in the future, I'm going to get two marshmallows instead of one. Oh my God, I think that's amazing." And then all of a sudden, right, years later, they also checked, like I think when they were in their 20s, like these kids were in their 20s, late 20s, I believe early 30s, and they would check their body mass index, right? Their physical fitness, right? And the kids who were in the instant gratification were much heavier than the kids who could like cultivate. They cultivated that willpower for later, and they were actually in much better shape. It's crazy to me that is such like a skill. It's a skill set. It's like cultivating a skill set. And the people who have, as they say, the people who have the most willpower don't even have to use that willpower. To me, that's astonishing, right? And it's something that I've been using. Like, okay, I'm hungry or I'm not. No, I don't need that. I can wait 20 minutes. I'm going to go to the salad bar over here. Or when I'm in the city, I'm going to say I'm going to go and I'm going to stop at this salad place instead. Look it up on the phone and plan that out, right? And the thing is willpower can be cultivated, right? Willpower can be cultivated, and it takes time, but willpower can be trained, just like a muscle, right? It's like training a muscle, right? If you're someone who goes to the gym regularly, transfer that over to say, how do I want to feel, right? Right? Because there's also another study done that, the people who work out to feel good, like I work out to feel good, right? I don't work out to, I want to look a certain way. Dude, I'm stronger than half the kids who have six-pack abs. So it's like I go to work out. That's it. I work out, right? But I go there to feel good. I feel good. And it's like, oh, you know what? It's 3 o'clock. I work out. If it's 6 o'clock, I go work out. Like, say I miss that deadline, right? I'll work out at 9, 10. If I said I'm working out, I'm working out before I go home. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if I'm like one eye and half asleep. I'm there. I told myself I committed, right? And if you guys know the difference between commitment and devotion, right? You commit to something, you can break that easily, right? Like we all make commitments. You know, if your word, right, the words that come out of your mouth are important to you, right, as they are important to me, because in the past I would say something, not even think about it, and then later and be like, oh yeah, I told that guy I'd bring him, you know, this, or I was in a situation where I should have just said no. You know, get good at saying no. I think that's such a skill that people do not have, right? Say no, thank you. You know, I have other plans, right? People press say no, thank you. I already have other plans. I've already committed or devoted my time to something else. Thank you. I do appreciate that very much, right? There's a way to say no to things, but you know, it's also like, you know, like what your word is your power. Words are powerful. Your word is your bond, right? People don't realize that, man. And as I've entered my 40s, oh my God, my word is my bond, man. If I say something, I'm doing it. And if I don't, you call me on it and remind me. I may have actually forgotten. If I didn't, usually I write things down. I have a notepad that I literally write things down and say, oh, I have to get so and so. I told them I would get that for them. Or, oh, I told them the next time I do this, I will do that for them, right? Because I'm in control of that. I'm in control of my thoughts. I am in control of my behaviors. You know, there's circumstances outside of me that I'm not in control of, but whatever, right? I don't have control of them. So whatever happens, I can either choose to react, right, which is impulse, or I can choose to act, right, and take actions that are incongruent with myself, with my core values. And guys, ladies, whoever's watching this, whatever you're watching this, right? Really get to know your core values. And in the beginning, I would say write them down, research them. And I mean, I literally, like, I know they have you do a list of core values where it's like write down 20. I was part of this online program where it was like write down 20, then write down 10, and then write down 5, right? You want to have like a handful, you know, but I have 2, right? I have 2, and then I have the one that cultivates the others, and that's willpower. Like cultivating my willpower for everything else, but faith and courage, man. Like I believe in having like a deep uh, faith, and it doesn't even have to be religion faith. It could be, right? But it's just having a faith that things are going to work out, right? Like Deo Volente, like God willing, right? I always say that, like Deo Volente, God willing. Like if I'm driving in like a bad snowstorm or I'm on an airplane. I was on an airplane not too long ago that I literally thought was going down. I was like, this is it. I'm out, you know, man, I didn't do this, this, and this. And then I start, going over my bucket list. But it was like Deo Volente. If God willing, I'll make this trip. And God willing, I'm going to survive this. Because personally, I don't like landing, right? Like taking off is cool. Take off all day. But when I land, I always have this crushing fear. But I get over it. I'm saying, Deo Volente, Deo Volente. We're going to make it. We're good. And whatever happens is meant to happen. And I lived a good life. And knowing that, being incongruent with yourself and knowing your core values. But those 2 values for me, faith and courage, man. Like having like a deep seated belief, like a conviction, right? And it goes deep within, like things are going to work out because they're going to work out. And having the courage, right? And courage can be looked at like I don't have my Memento Mori coin, but it's this coin that I got off. I forgot, Ryan. It's Ryan Holiday's company. I forgot the name of it, but he has his company where they sell. It's called the Death Coin, right? And and I forgot. It's made off a famous painting where there's like a skull. There's, I believe, a tulip, and there's an hourglass, right? So it's like the skull is death, the tulip is life, and the hourglass is time. And it's a famous portrait, but it was put on this coin. When you look on this coin and you hold this coin in your hand, right? I should have the coin on me. What the heck? The heck, right? But I don't. But right, faith and courage. Courage is feeling fear and just doing it anyway. And there's things that I have going on that I'm still working on, and everything is an act in progress, right? An act in progress, right? Because I have a coach that I speak to on a biweekly basis. He holds me accountable. So it's working on things that are going to get you there and how you can get there and how you can excel yourself and get yourself to where you need to go in life. So important, guys, right? And having that faith, having that courage, and having feeling the fear and doing it anyway. You know what I mean? Because you said you do what you said you would do, right? Again, your word is your power. Your word is your bond. Your word is who you are. Because all day we're around people, right? That you know don't even they think less about themselves, but yet they'll speak about other people around me. I don't tolerate that. Usually walk away. I don't like talking about other people, And the thing is like your words are power. When you say something, you do it, right? You tell someone something, you do it. You tell yourself, oh my God, isn't it the worst when you look yourself in the mirror, right? You're looking yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm going to lose 30 pounds by whatever and such date, then you don't do it. You build that habit loop on that thing that you said, you would do, right? Oh my God, that it frustrates. It's frustrating, I'm sure. It's like anxiety ridden, but your word is your bond, all right? Deo Valente, right? God willing. But make sure, you write that down. And when you, and guys, try to cultivate this. When I thought my mic was not working, that would have been upsetting, right? I do this whole entire recording of myself and the mic is not working. But you cultivate that willpower. You cultivate, you do what you said you would do. And that's so important. Cultivating willpower, right? And again, it outperforms IQ 2 to 1, right? So if there's someone who's really smart, but you put in the effort, you put in the effort to do the work, that outperforms IQ. I love it. I love it because I remember in college, I don't remember what course it was. There was a few of them, but I remember I was like, I got to study this harder than anyone else. This kid next to me had like an eidetic memory, right? He could like literally like, and look, yeah, he was smart. Thing is, when I really dove into it, I would dive deeper. I break things apart, literally disseminate them into like little chunks, like the devil's in the details. And I learned, and I would recite, and I would practice. I'd speak to myself. I'd be in my car. I'd record it, and then I'd listen to it in the car, right, on surround sound. And then I would I'd get around other people and teach it. Oh my God, I would get like hundreds on things after that. It took time to learn that pattern, right? And to learn that you can't do it all at once, and I'd have to study a few times a day. But the thing is, you can learn anything, right? You commit to, right? You devote to, right? Commitments can be broken, right? Devotion, when you're devoted to something, goes deeper. It goes so much deeper than just the surface. So the thing is if anyone's listening to this, really think about that, man. Words of power. Your words are your power, right? Your words are your power, right? If I went like this, yeah, my words are my power, right? It's not believable, man. But your words are your power. Your words are your presence. Your words are your bond, right? You speak from here. You don't just speak, but you speak from your gut. You speak from your heart, right? Whatever it is you devote to, right? Commitments are good. You can commit. Devotion's a much stronger word. Devotion has power. I devote to you, man. Right? You're 100%. There's no non-negotiable. There's no bright fuzzy line. There's no like, no. It's down the line, man. That's a non-negotiable for me, right? And I believe people need to have more non-negotiables in their life. The people they surround themselves with, right? Some people keep the same friends for years, right? When those friends aren't serving them, or they're around family members that are really negative, right? That don't support them. Get away from that and step away. You still got to love your family, through thick and thin. But I believe if those people are hijacking you, are literally hostage negotiating you and just kidnapping you and taking your reins and hijacking your thoughts and inseminating like negativity, because words have power. And when those words get deep inside of your subconscious, they affect you whether you believe it or not, man. That's why I'm constantly playing like podcasts, listening to positive people, listening to it's like listening to John Lee Dumas, who talks about like you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with, right? The classic Jim Rohn saying, right? And there will be days other than when I'm with my clients and I'm serving them with my utmost power, right? And showing up powerfully for them because I want them to get what they want out of this. This is, a give relationship. This is a flow. It's synchronous, right? It's constant. It's going back and forth. And I want that for you guys when you're listening to this. If you're playing this, maybe you're chewing on something, you're eating, but listen to what I'm saying, man. Like this knowledge I've been studying. I've probably read thousands of books. Literally, I have containers. I think I have about 20 containers of books. And the thing is I don't just read books just to read them, but I'll literally sit with a book and I'll highlight it. I have a notepad. I take notes on it. I retype them up on Google Docs, right? And I'll print them out and I'll put them in a folder so I can access them later. Because my thing is I want to learn as much as I can and not just it's not just the implication of the knowledge, but it's the application of the knowledge. It's like, let me rub that up against reality. Let me go out in the world. Let me test that stuff. Let me test that against reality. Let me see if it works. Let me see if that works for me, right? Most of the stuff is pretty good, man, right? It's like the top research scientists that are going over this stuff and testing it themselves, putting on that lab coat, right? Putting on the goggles, getting that notepad and taking that pen and pecking, right? Taking data and collecting data, right? And it's funny, this saying's popping into mind. And I forgot the saying, right? Came in and came out. But the thing is like most negative people will look at, Most negative people will look at solutions and see problems. Most positive people will look at problems and see solutions. Man, that's powerful, right? Think about that for you, right? If you could just say, oh man, this is just happening to you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. The universe tests your mettle, and I'm still being tested every day. I'm not exonerated from this. I'm being tested every single day. There is no exoneration from hard work. There is no exoneration from, more things, more things being piled upon your plate to test your inner resilience, to test your inner strength. I mean, that's what the universe does. Nothing is given to you. Why can't it be easy? Why can't it be? That's the victim. If you're listening to this, I've been in a victim state before, right? I still up and down have anxiety stuff, but the thing is I work on it quicker. When I fall down, it might take me a day. Sometimes it'll only take me an hour or two, but I'll get back up as quick as possible, right? Because of my why is important. My purpose, right? We all say that purpose, but it's like purpose squared, persistence squared, perseverance squared, right? It's like, just getting better and better and better and having those constant never-ending improvements in life and just feeding your beast, right? And the beast meaning like feeding your knowledge, feeding your skills, feeding your abilities, feeding your comfort zone. Like, oh, I don't feel like doing that. That's scary. That's when you need to do it. When you don't feel like doing something, you do it anyway. Cultivate that, man. It's so powerful. Yeah, I don't feel like doing it. Do it anyway. Not saying that's going to work all the time, because I remember there was a time I was in an airport. I think I was in Michigan, and I was waiting. I was exhausted, and literally I got a really good deep conversation with somebody, and I know I could, I kept in touch with them, but I could have went so much deeper. And I felt like I was at the end of my rope and I needed to rest. I definitely did. Because some weird plane stuff happened. We got on this plane. That didn't happen. This didn't happen. I was still my best version of myself. I was just very quiet because I knew how exhausted I was. And that time when you think you're dreaming. So I was a little quieter, a little more humble. My conversation wasn't as deep and powerful as it usually is. But I missed an opportunity. I know it. And if I would have dug a little deeper, I could have resurfaced that a little more powerful. I know, you look back at things, and that's another thing. Collect data on things. And something I learned from a military guy is this thing called an after-action review. And I'm going to go over that in the future, but it's these 5 questions to ask yourself And it's crazy because I know these questions are really simple. For some reason, they're not surfacing, but I have them written down in a notebook. But it's like knowing and cultivating, those things. So at the end of the day, you can collect that data and say, how did I show up today? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? How could I have improved? How could I have made some improvements with my interactions or my reactions or the actions? What steps could I have taken to, go a little deeper? How did I do? Or if you had a successful day, great, man, I need to do that more. Okay, how can I improve that just a little bit better? How can I 1% improve that just a little bit better? And that's all you need to do. Everything is one day at a time, man. It's 1% improvement. We don't improve like, here's something that some people, we are in such an instant gratification world that we're in this age of dramatic distraction, right? We hear a buzz, we're like little rats on our phone. But the thing is that, in this age, this is when we have to cultivate willpower. When if you're looking to do deep work into something, like I do deep study, right? I'm studying with a life coach right now, and I'm learning everything he does to improve my business right now. And the thing is like when I'm with him, literally I'll schedule 3 hours because we spend an hour together, and then after that, I assess the notes. I look at the Zoom call that transpires between me and him. I study. I actually take 4 hours. What am I talking about? I always say 3.5, 4, but it's more like 4. And after that time, I take notes. I speak. I record what I learned. What are the highlights? What we went over, and the improvements. But my phone is off. I literally have them on me. Wait, maybe I do. But no, I have earplugs that I put in my ear to silence the noise, man. Right? And if I'm at my office, I'll put a please do not disturb me, like card up, literally taped to the wall, 3 different places. I don't want to be disturbed because I'm in focus time. Focus. The acronym of focus, if many of you don't know, is focus on course until success. And that's what I do. Right? When I'm doing deep work, I need to focus. I don't like to be bothered. Right? And many of you guys should want the same thing because if you're constantly being blown up, you can't go deep. You can't like formulate things in your world, right? If you're looking to really make a difference in life, right? Really make a difference in other people's lives, with your best version of yourself, you got to do deep work. Now the book on that, Cal Newport, Deep Work, amazing book, right? Talks about shallow work and deep work, right? And talks about like, how when you're not like I live like at home, right at my upstate place. I have a barn. Literally, I can walk in and it's dark, and it's only a desk and a chair, and that is it. And I do deep work. Nothing bothers me. There's no electronics around me. Just me and warm clothes, sitting there working. Usually, I like to do pen and paper at first, and I put like cork boards and stuff if I'm working out something, and I'll speak it out loud, or I'll look at it and intrinsically try to own it, and then try to resurface it and regurgitate it different ways to see what works, and whatever works for you, man. But it's what I'm trying to add while I'm on this life plane, what I'm trying to give, right, while I'm on this life plane, the power I'm trying to like put out in the universe, right? I'm trying to learn something deep because for years I wouldn't learn something deep. For years I would just be like, let me do this, let me do that, let me do that. And like a child, I would go around and let me taste this, let me taste that. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden you become an adult. You can't do that no more. You can't just say, let me do that, let me do this, let me do that. You got to focus. Sometimes you might have to go backwards to move forward into that thing that you really want to go deep in. But know that you could do that. Know that you could do deep work. There's a lot of, being alone, right? Being your own best friend is one of the best gifts you can give yourself, right? When you can literally walk up to a mirror and just say, man, I love you. Man, I love you. You're a good man. Even when I look to myself right now and say, Ray, I love you. And that's hard for a lot of people, right? Right? It's just they don't, and that's all like facts, feelings, environmental stuff that got like thrown into your subconscious mind, right? But you are good enough, man. Video, definitely want to say Marissa Peer. She's an interesting bird, but she has a video called "I Am Good Enough." I think it's called "The Disease of Disease." Look it up, Marissa Peer. I am good enough. Such a great video. And it is because a lot of people don't believe they are. You are. You're 100% whole, man. All right. You're alive. You're thinking thoughts. You're at the, like, you take a microscope and, I don't even know what it's called, a spectro, blah, 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 microscope, and you look at the base roots of it, there's electricity that stems, right? When we have new ways of thinking, when our mind expands around something that we don't really know yet, our brains create synapses that actually sprout out and vein into different parts of the brain to connect these new neural thought patterns that give you new ways of looking at things, new views, like pretty much like a fourth dimension, right? I don't want to say doing the Greek chorus, but basically just giving you like a fourth wall of looking at things, if that makes any sense. But I do have a little bit of a movie background. But doing that, man, and having that, have that deep knowing, that deep concerted knowing. I just know, right? When you believe, you know what? You're right. When you think you're bad and awful, you know what? You're right. It's like that Henry Ford saying, right? Whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, you're right, right? What you give meaning to is powerful, right? That's why I encourage everybody to figure out what their meaning is in life, and their meaning is the action that they want to do, right? Their mission, what they want to accomplish while they're here. And I'm someone myself who went through, like, you know what? Who cares about leaving a legacy? Like, one day I'm going to be dead. It doesn't matter. I can't ask the dust, and, in 100 years from now, is it really going to? And it might not. It might not be. But if I wake up every day and I feel like I'm giving to the world, and I'm learning, I'm earning, I'm at a place where I can leave a legacy, and then I can live my golden years, right? And now the golden years, I have all this accrued knowledge, skills, and abilities where it's basically I can just live the life of my dreams because I've gotten so good, right? That it's just, powerful, right? Like money is just energy. It's being given back. Like what you create and give to the world gives back to you in abundance. I'm telling you, there's an abundance, right? And we do like to have avoid dance, right? We like to avoid the dance, avoid our dance because it's uncomfortable to get on that dance floor. It's uncomfortable to you don't know how to do the thing. But avoidance to get you anything, man. The abundance, when you just do it, figure out how you're going to do it. Doesn't You don't know. The universe is going to help you. Universe will help you. You make an effort, universe is going to test you. Universe is going to, the one song is going to, you give it back to you. Maybe you weren't ready yet. Know that. Know that you're not ready. You haven't earned the experience yet to be that person you need to be. People give you data. Anything that happens to you is data. May not be right data. I'm not saying just take it as fact. No, look at it. Really, let me try it again. Okay, you're getting, maybe it's the same data. Maybe try it again. It's the same data. Maybe you try it again. It's the same data. And you try, okay, okay, maybe it is this. Okay, and then work on that and then get good at that and then test it again, right? Whatever it is for you. But again, the word is experience. I know a lot of people who go out and they don't have a lot of experience and they act like they do have a lot of experience. And the thing is that nips them in the butt, right? But when you have experience, right, it force multiplies, just compounds over time, right? That 10,000 hour rule has been disapproved, but again, it's like, the time you put in. If I put in, I'd say about 20 hours a week in study, in application of knowledge, And everything I use with my clients. And I say, hey, this is an experiment, but let me know if, this rings true with you. If it doesn't, let's disregard it and move on. But if it does, give me some feedback. Or in some way, at a later time, if it seeds something, let me know. So I'm going to ask again, because I want feedback to make sure I'm doing the best I can to serve them, to service them, to give them my utmost, right? Passion, purpose, practicality from my experiences, practicality of the systems that I've learned, right? So I can move forward, like save yourself time, energy, and money to move forward, right? And if I don't know something, I'll be the first one to say I don't know that. But there are these other people that know that. Go out and get that. Go out and see if that works for you, right? Right? Because we're all here to improve our lives. We're all here to get better, little bit by little bit. Okay, it's running late now, and this is officially my first YouTube Live. I'm actually going to go up and give myself a thumbs up. I don't know if they allow you to do that, because if no one else is going to give me a thumbs up, this guy's giving himself a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So if this finds you later and this interests you, please connect with me, man. Love to say hello, And again, this is Raymond J. Negron with Beyond Failure to Reach Success. I want everybody to have an absolutely amazing day. Clicking some stuff here that I do not know what it does. But okay, have an amazing day. Bye, guys.